Frank, I think you've got a photo as well. Frank's going to sign it for him.
Fine.
Why?
Because it's you must teach your fighter punch clean, but I win this fight for right.
Daniel Dubois crumbled by Oleksandr Usyk after releasing new fight rules. Usyks' response is as savage as it is calm. With just one line, he exposes the flaw in Dubois' game, a lack of discipline. You don't need rewritten rules when you've mastered the fundamentals. That's the gap between a champion and a contender. And when the ref's call was questioned, Usyk didn't flinch. His answer was ice cold.
Bam, I don't know. It's not my problem. A referee makes a situation like
Usyk shrugs, and rightly so. Not my problem hits harder than any punch Dubois landed. Dubois fans are still crying about rules, while the man who got hit just dusted himself off and finished the fight like a real champion. Let's face it, if roles were reversed, Dubois would have been stretchered out.
He said that it was a good body shot.
Yeah, I know. Listen, it was in the past. Now I have new fight. I live now. It's a present.
This wasn't small talk, it was a veiled push to rewrite boxing rules. George Fox tried to float Dubois' low blow as a gray area, but Usyk wasn't buying it. That stare down said everything. You can't change the game just because your fighter couldn't finish the job. But things got even more bizarre when Dubois' coach tried turning a knockout into a medical mystery.
This is position, like not punch, yeah. This is your fighter punch me.
Don Charles just made history, turning a body shot into a full-blown medical emergency. Nervous system shut down? Really? Sounds like Dubois didn't get hit, he short-circuited. Truth is, it wasn't illegal, it was brutal, and Usyk broke him. Simple as that.
Is to grab your groin area. He never did no such thing. His hands was permanently held by his stomach, not even touching. He was shaking because his central nervous system was shut down. He had no control of his.
Don Charles just made history, turning a body shot into a full-blown medical emergency. Nervous system shut down? Really? Sounds like Dubois didn't get hit, he short-circuited. Truth is, it wasn't illegal, it was brutal, and Usyk broke him. Simple as that.
The Queensberry rules, if a punch lands on the belt or the box area, then it's considered a foul, an unintentional foul. If it's below the navel, then it's a low blow. It doesn't have to be directly in the...
Carl Froach drops the cold truth right here. He isn't buying the Dubois PR spin. That punch was low, plain and simple. You can literally see Usyk's belly button, and Dubois' glove lands below it, dragging down into groin territory. Yet somehow, Dubois fans want us to believe this was a clean body shot? Absolute nonsense. Froach even shuts down the "he milked it" argument by reminding everyone that Usyk would have gotten up if a count started. This wasn't a quit job. It was a man taking time from an illegal shot and still coming back to win. But here's the real problem. Why are we even having this debate? Because Team Dubois wants new fight rules written retroactively to justify a shot that should never have been thrown in the first place. The more they talk, the worse it looks. And if anyone knows the mental side of a loss, it's Tony Bellew, who doesn't hold back on Dubois' demons.
On the belt line, and if you look at Usyk's belt line, you can see his belly button just sort of steering out the top of his belt line. You land a shot on here, this is a good shot, it's a body shot. The referee didn't do that. The bottom part of the glove was on the...
Tony Bellew puts it perfectly. Dubois hasn't just got physical work to do, he's got mental baggage dragging him down. You don't come out of a fight like the Usyk one unchanged, especially when the world's debating whether you quit. Bellew's trying to give him credit, saying he's in a different place now. But let's be honest, the same fighter with the same flaws doesn't magically evolve under pressure. The moment Dubois faces adversity again, especially against someone with Usyk's IQ, what happens? Does he crumble again or find a new excuse? It's mental warfare in there, and Usyk already owns space in Dubois' head rent-free. Bellew's being diplomatic, but we all know those demons aren't gone. They're lurking, waiting for round one. And if Dubois thinks changing fight rules will silence the doubt, he's in for another rude awakening. And Bellew himself doubled down. questioning the shot and calling it out for what it really was.
Listen,
Prove he can take a body shot.
for Daniel Dubois has got a lot of demons to revisit, and he's going to revisit them in this fight. I think he's in a different place mentally now than he was before the first fight. I don't want to say he's grown up and mature, because I think he's the same fighter as he was. He's just, his mental approach is going to have to be different. So
Bellew's not mincing words anymore. That punch? Illegal. And he's bang on. The protector's there for a reason, not to get hit and then argue about the angle on social media. Dubois hit low, end of story. Bellew even challenges the crowd. You think that was high? Most fans didn't, and yet Dubois' camp insists the footage is somehow misleading. Here's the truth. When former fighters like Bellew, who've been in the trenches, are saying it wasn't a clean shot, that says everything. These aren't casuals tweeting hot takes. This is a man who's taken body shots and knows the difference between legal and dirty. Dubois isn't just fighting Usyk, he's now battling the entire boxing community's memory of what happened that night. And no amount of rule clarification is going to erase the fact that the shot was low and the comeback was weaker. But Frank Warren still believes in the power and the narrative, and his next words say a lot more than he intended.
thoughts on, do you believe it was illegal? I do.
I thought it was illegal or legal.
I thought it was illegal. It's called a protector for a reason.
Yeah.
He hits the protector.
It's illegal.
Yeah, it's below the
It's a
navel.
low blow.
The navel's essentially your
What's your thoughts, Carl?
below.
I thought it was all right.
Did you?
Yeah, but I'm back. I'm a man, so
No. We've all got to go on. We've all got to accept this right now. Was it good for you? It wasn't good. It wasn't.
Frank Warren is selling the comeback story hard, trying to rebrand Dubois from the boy to the man. But there's a reason fans aren't buying it. Punch power doesn't mean much if you can't follow through. Did Dubois land a hard shot on Usyk? Sure, but what happened after that? Usyk got up, took over, and stopped him. If Frank's hoping for a statement win, he's ignoring the bigger issue. Dubois still hasn't proven he can survive when things get uncomfortable, and framing it around a single punch is a mistake. This isn't a pub fight. This is Oleksandr Usyk, a master of adaptation and resilience. You don't beat him with raw power. You beat him with strategy and heart. So far, Dubois has only shown flashes of the first and none of the second. Frank's height might fill the airwaves, but in the ring, history tends to repeat itself. And now, even Lennox Lewis is weighing in, and his words carry championship weight.
Well, I'm going to go with what his manager said, what Usyk's manager said, Aegis. Aegis came out, he said, this time, we're not fighting Daniel Dubois, we're fighting Daniel the man. And I think that's the difference. You know, since that Usyk fight, which he was an underdog going into, and he showed that his punch power and hurt Usyk.
Lennox Lewis gives Dubois a respectful nod here, but you can tell it's more motivational than factual. Not an easy task is putting it lightly. Usyk's not just any opponent. He's a puzzle fighters can't solve. Lennox highlights Dubois' pedigree, but pedigree didn't help him against Joe Joyce, and it sure didn't save him from crumbling after a borderline body shot. The problem isn't talent, it's temperament. Lennox knows it takes more than big muscles and press conference confidence to beat a generational technician like Usyk. This sounds more like a veteran trying to uplift a young fighter than someone laying down a realistic prediction. And fair enough, Dubois needs all the help he can get. But talk doesn't win fights. Mental toughness, discipline, and ring IQ do. And on all three counts, Usyk's in another league. Dubois has heart, but does he have backbone? And speaking of legacy, Carl Froach comes back in, this time with doubts about Usyk's hunger and Dubois' dangerous new mindset.
For Great Britain. It's not an easy task, but he's definitely the man that can go through with it. He's done the work, he's gone through the pedigree, and he's a certified champion. So, I think he has big hopes on doing it. He's going to do it.
Carl Froch tries to give Dubois credit here, calling him a different machine. But let's be honest, machines don't malfunction when the pressure turns up. Dubois isn't different. He's just had more PR polish. Froch says it's a fight Dubois can win, and sure, anything can happen in boxing, but can and will are worlds apart. Dubois still hasn't answered the only question that matters: what happens when he's hurt, winded, and behind on the cards? Usyk doesn't just test your power, he tests your soul, and no new version of Dubois has proven it can pass that test. Froch's line about Usyk possibly stepping away feels like a soft jab, almost like he's suggesting Usyk's lost motivation. But if anything, Usyk looks hungrier. And even if he's 1 foot out, as others have said, he still levels above most of this division. Dubois, despite all the talk of improvement, still carries the same ghosts, and they show up when it matters most. And speaking of ghosts, Duke McKenzie lays it out clearly. Dubois is better now, sure, but it still won't be enough against Oleksandr Usyk.
Dubois now is a different machine.
Self-confidence will be...
And time waits for no man, as the saying goes. I just think that this is a fight that's exciting. It's a good fight. You've got to make Usyk the favourite, but it's a fight that Daniel Dubois can definitely win.
Yes.
I don't think Usyk should.
Duke McKenzie gives Dubois all the flowers. More seasoned, more controlled, picks his punches better, and fair enough, Dubois isn't the same green prospect that got smoked by Joe Joyce. But the line that matters most is the one at the end. If he was fighting anybody else other than Oleksandr Usyk, I'd pick him to win. That says everything. Even the experts can see the gap. This isn't just another opponent. This is Usyk. You can be polished, conditioned, and sharp. But if you're in there with someone who drowns you mentally round by round, none of that matters. That's what Usyk does. He drags you into a storm while smiling, makes you question your plan, and then punishes the hesitation. It's not about being more controlled, it's about surviving a pace and rhythm Dubois has never experienced successfully. Even when he fought Usyk the first time, that one moment, that one shot to the body was all he had. When that didn't work, he folded. This version of Dubois might look stronger on paper, but paper doesn't punch back. Usyk does, and not everyone is sold on Usyk, though. Johnny Nelson has a surprising take that questions the champ's hunger.
And like I say, if he was fighting anybody else other than Oleksandr Usyk, I would pick him to win, but what they're convinced...
You think he is number 2 heavyweight in the world right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I still...
Johnny Nelson suggesting Usyk's not fully in, that his hunger's fading. And maybe that's true. Maybe Usyk is nearing the end of his career, mentally preparing for life after boxing. But here's the catch. Even with 1 foot out, Usyk is still miles ahead of most of the division. That's how good he is. What Nelson sees as lack of appetite might just be supreme calm, the kind of peace you get when you've already done it all. Unified at cruiserweight, unified at heavyweight, beat AJ twice, handled Dubois with class. What else is there to prove? Yet, despite that, he's still here, still in shape, still studying his opponents. Dubois needs to believe Usyk's slipping. It's the only way this rematch feels hopeful, but that's wishful thinking. The Usyk we've seen trains with obsession. He doesn't just want to win, he wants to embarrass those who doubt him. Nelson may be reading a man at peace as a man on the decline, but if Dubois walks into the ring thinking he's got an easier version of Usyk, he's going to learn the hard way. And that leads us into the final voice, one of the most involved names in the business. Time to hear what Spencer Brown revealed behind the scenes.
Foot out already. He's Usyk talking like that. He's got 1 foot out already. If he's talking like that, that means, as far as I'm concerned, I sense his appetite is slipping away. He's very professional, gets the job done, knows what he has to do in the ring and in training. But to me, he's now 1 foot.
It's no longer just a rematch. It's a war built on controversy, pride, and redemption. Daniel Dubois didn't just lose to Oleksandr Usyk. He fell apart under pressure and then tried to rewrite the rules after the fact. That infamous body shot became the spark for months of debate, with his camp pushing the idea of new fight rules to justify what many still see as a quit job. But Usyk didn't flinch. He took the low blow, recovered, and dismantled Dubois like a surgeon. And now, with the rematch heating up, Dubois is being repackaged as a reformed beast, mentally sharper, physically tougher, and supposedly transformed into a real threat. Yet beneath the surface, the same questions remain. Can he handle adversity when it truly counts? Will he stand tall if his big shot doesn't end it? On the other side, you've got Usyk, calm, clinical, and perhaps nearing the final chapters of his career. Some say he's 1 foot out, but even with half the hunger, Usyk is twice the fighter. If he wins again, it's legacy cemented. If Dubois somehow pulls it off, it flips the heavyweight division upside down. But this time, there'll be no excuses, no rewrites, just truth under fire. So who are you backing? The icy master of footwork and mind games, or the bruiser with something to prove? Let the world know. The gloves are off, and the comments are open.